Philadelphia artist J.J. Tiziou grew up surrounded by space stuff.
My father was an aerospace journalist. He was in deep in the NASA world and partied with Neil Armstrong and all of those guys, the big names. He moved to Florida to cover the space program as it was just taking off, literally. The astronauts would come over for dinner parties and we'd go see launches, and my dad had this giant collection. He called it his museum.
When his father Jacques passed away a few years ago, JJ was left to sort through that massive mountain of memorabilia.
Hunks of stuff that had flown in space, stuff that was signed by astronauts, collectors' stuff, archive stuff, and then hoarder junk. So an example might be that an astronaut friend would give him a roll of dental floss that had flown in orbit, and anything that's space flown becomes sort of instantly sacred amongst space aficionados. And so what he'd do is he'd cut it into tiny little pieces and make tiny little certificates and put them in little Ziploc bags and then hand out, a centimeter at a time.
The community organizer naturally turned to the community to help organize the collection and find good homes for any important items.
I got in touch with the Air and Space Museum and the NASA archives, and they came through and took a whole pile of things. That barely made a dent, and everything that was left, honestly, I would have needed 9,000 people on board to really get it all out of there. My dad loved to share it too. He collected this stuff and he loved to gift it to other people. So I offered it as rewards to do a little bit of a treasure gifting to other people of the space junk, which is a thing that my dad would have loved. At the very end, when I thought it was all gone, I was excavating a freezer full of ice with a crowbar, and I found some foie gras and toast that had flown in space given to him by his astronaut buddies.
Yum. So what did JJ keep?
I personally love some of the views from space. Something about the Earth seen from the moon is a particular thing that gives you perspective on where we live. To look at this precious blue gem in the sky and realize, as you pull back, it becomes a single point of white light, and that's where we all live together. There's something kind of powerful to those views.